Behind the scene they work very hard to do what they do, to stay motivated. This is the Teachers Reality Show. This is the Teachers Reality Show.
The Teachers NAIJA Reality Show.
A good teacher is someone who knows a subject and knows how to teach it. On today's segment of the Teachers NAIJA Reality TV Show Season 2, we'll be seeing how 16 housemates come out here to discuss and talk about a topic in a subject, and they'll be given 4 minutes to do that. Now, on this segment, we'll be seeing how effective and efficient all our teachers are in managing their time and passing the knowledge. I'll be leaving you in the hands of the judge to further explain the modalities of this segment. I'll be right back after the segment. Don't go anywhere.
Hello viewers, welcome to the Teachers NAIJA Reality TV Show Season 2. My name is Ebere Anyao. I'm one of the judges in this program. In today's task, the housemates will be engaged in micro-teaching. They have written their lesson plans and have submitted it. And they have 4 minutes for this task. Thank you very much. Stay tuned.
Hi, good day viewers. I hope we're good today. All right, my name is Babatunde Adegunju, contestant number 1. Well, while I was coming today, I saw some students, they were talking to each other using certain words. I told you earlier, I said, I am Mr. Babatunde. Yes, there is this other word I can put in front of my name. I am brilliant Babatunde. Just try and use the first letter of your name and use it to form another word in front of your name. That makes it sound good, right? Okay, don't forget, I am brilliant Babatunde. So let's go into the topic. Now the topic I have for you, I want to teach you, okay. English language, that's the subject. So the topic is adjectives. That's it. Adjectives. So what are adjectives? Remember, brilliant Babatunde. That is an adjective in front of my name just to describe the person that I am. Adjectives. In a simple form, adjectives are words that describe a noun or pronouns. You remember our last topic we discussed about noun. You still remember proper nouns and the rest of it. Then we have also discussed about pronouns. You remember your he, your she, and they, and the rest of them. So today we are moving straight into adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe a noun. Now, you don't just make use of certain words anyhow. You use them to describe. So descriptive, any word you see that is describing a noun, it is called an adjective. Let me give us this example. I live in a large house. I live in a large house. Can you try the adjective here? Which word is actually describing a noun? First, you need to identify your noun before you can describe it. The noun here, as you can see, is house. The word house. So which word is describing the way my house looks like? Now, is the word large. The word large is describing house. We also have words like enormous, task. That means it's telling you the voluminous of the task. We also have on and on like that, handsome man, beautiful girl, and so on. So in summary, what we have done today is we have defined adjectives. Do not forget, adjectives describe what? Nouns or pronouns. We have also talked about examples of adjectives. We have large here and we have enormous. We also have handsome, we have beautiful, and the rest of them. So your task that you're going to do up to now is that you're going to list 10 adjectives. Then you're going to tell me the meaning of them. So in our next meeting, I'll be expecting your homework. Thank you very much.
Good day, my tech generation builders. I am Ms. Zoyin Adejobi. I am your information technology teacher. Now the subject is infotech. Our topic for today is going to be data and information. Now, in the last class, you had your pre-resumption test, but today, we are going to be, then the differences. But today, we are going to be dwelling on data and information. By the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to define data, you'll be able to define information, and also differentiate between data and information. Data simply means raw facts, raw or unprocessed information. Now, what do I have here? Rice. Raw rice, uncooked rice. Now, is rice good? Yes. How many of us eat rice? The whole class. Now, what happens if I do this? It looks awkward. Our teacher is eating raw food. Looks somehow. But in the real sense of it, rice is actually good. But it can only be better when it is cooked. Now, data is likened to raw rice, which is unprocessed. An example of data collection happened when you were being admitted last week into JSS1. The counselor gave out forms to request your name, your age, your address, and the likes. That's an example of data collection. Now, we have defined data. Let us move on to information. Now, information simply means processed data. Processed data. A typical example of information is your uniform. Your parents went to the market, got materials, gave to the tailor, who made it out into beautiful uniforms. Aren't you all looking beautiful? Yes, you are. Now, if I come to class, tying this around my waist only, now it's going to look awkward, isn't it? I'm going to look somehow. The same way your parents got your uniform from the market, gave out to the tailor. It is when it is being made into beautiful outfits before you understand what it is all about. Now, information can be in audio form. That's what you listen to. An example is your music. It could be in visual form. That's the video, what you watch. It could be audio-visual, a combination of sound and what you watch. It could also be in print. That is what is being typed. Now, we have been able to define data as raw facts, information as processed data, and the difference is that data is raw facts, while information is processed data. In the next class, we'll move on to information transmission. That'll be our next topic. Kindly read up the topic before we get to class next week by the special grace of God. Thank you.
Good day, class. Today, we'll look into Newton's laws of motion. In our last class, we discussed extensively on motion. So today, we'll look into Newton's laws of motion. I've always tell you that physics is very simple and is something you can apply in nature. So Sir Isaac Newton propounded 3 laws of motion that are the basic law that govern motion of an object. So we'll be looking into those 3 laws of motion. Law number 1, first law of motion, states that an object that is in motion will continue to be in motion. If it is at rest, will continue to be at rest until it is acted upon by a force. Your school bag will continue to be in that place when you go on break. If nobody comes to touch it, you will come back and still meet it there because no force has come to change the position of that bag. Then the second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied and takes place in the direction of the force. Meaning, when you apply force to an object, the object moves in the direction of that force, So these 2 laws basically explain to us about the movement of an object. Now, let me tell you, there's also a mathematical analysis of this law that says that the force is proportional to the change in momentum and is all over time taking. A very good example of that is that you go to shopping mall, you see their doors marked with pull and inside push. You see, you apply your force in the direction of push, and you also apply your force in the direction of pull, and the door moves to the direction at which you apply your force. Is that taken? In our next class, we'll look at the Newton's third law. It's a very interesting last law of motions. Now, let me ask you, can someone tell us what Newton's first law of motion is? Ade, you said? Great, good. An object will continue to be at a state of rest until it is acted upon by an external force. Beautiful. So I will leave you to this. Next class, you give me examples, more examples of how these laws are applied to our everyday life. Is that taking? Is that taking? Good of you. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Good day, students. Welcome to another English language class. Can someone quickly remind me what we learned in the last lesson? Yes, thank you very much. Informal letter. So today we are moving on to another kind of letter, which is formal letter. So, a formal letter can also be called a business or an official letter because it is a letter that has to do with anything official. It's a letter you write to someone in higher authority on any official matter, ranging from your principal to the local government chairman or even the governor of your state, as well as the president of your nation. But you need to know the features of a formal letter so that you can know what to do if you have to write one. So quickly, I'll go straight to writing down the layout of a formal letter. I have a model formal letter here, which I will read to you at the end of the lesson before you write your own letter so that you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. To start with, one of the features of a formal letter is the recipient's address, the writer's address. That is your own address. And each word in the address must begin with a capital letter. For example, you live on Badmore Street, and each line must be marked off with a comma. Now, Badmore Street is at Martins, for example, and Martins is at Akute, for example, and then Akute is in what state? Ogun State. Okay, that's your full stop. Now, take a look. Each word begins with a capital letter. Take note of that. Each line ends with a comma, and then after the state, you put your full stop. Now, what comes next? Your date. If, for example, today is the 7th of July, for example, 7th of July, 2022, for example, you mark off your the month from the year with a comma. What comes next is the recipient's address. Remember, the recipient is the person you are writing to. So take note of that. If, for example, I want to write a letter to my principal, I'll write this, principal, the principal, marked off with a comma. Remember that each word, too, must begin with a capital letter. Now, the principal of where? You don't know your principal's home address. That is not the office he occupies. It is the school where he works. That is the address you're going to write. So don't bother saying, no, I don't know my principal's house. No, you just write the address of the school because that is the office of the person. So, for example, the principal of your school, Peak Lane College International. Now, where is this located? It's located in Alagbole, for example. Now, I'll put my full stop. I will repeat the states because Alagbole is in Ogun State, so I don't need to repeat that. Now, what comes next is your salutation. Please take note of that. If you're writing to a man, you write, dear sir. If it's a woman, dear madam. So, your principal, for example, is a man, dear sir. What comes next is the title. The title of the letter is what you want to write about. If, for example, you're writing about you're asking for permission, go ahead and write it, and then you have your introduction. You go straight to the point when writing an introduction. I hereby write to state or do that, and then you have the body. The body of the letter where you explain your reasons for writing, and then you have the conclusion. After the conclusion, you go straight to the substitution clause of a formal letter. The substitution clause of a formal letter is yours faithfully. Yours faithfully. Please take note that the Y should be beginning with capital letter. The faithfully begin with a small letter, and then your signature, and then your full name. Your full name in the sense that if your name is Gloria Odutola, for example, you write Gloria Odutola. Now, I want you to understand something. You'll be writing a formal letter for me in the class right now. Now, given this layout of a formal letter, I want you to, follow the example and take down something really, really good for me.
Good day, everyone. My name is Alabi Abiola Olaide, housemate number 5. I'll be teaching basic science today, and the topic is resources from plants. The previous class we talked about living things, and as we know that living things are things that have life in them. Example of living things are plants and animals. So today we are going to be looking at resources from plants. And at the end of today's lesson, the learning objective, at the end of today's lesson, my learners should be able to list resources from plants. Students should be able to list resources from plants, and students should be able to identify, the students should be able to identify the uses of resources from plants. Example of resources from plants is rice, as I have here with me. Rice is an example of resources from plants. Other food that we eat at home, like beans, yam, our gari, are example of resources from plants. And another example are the cash crops. Example of cash crops are cocoa. The cocoa is an example of cash crop. Tobacco is an example of cash crops, and this leads us to the uses of the resources that we get from plants. Like I said the other time, that rice is an example of food that we get from plants. We eat this at home, which serves as energy for us. Other food that we eat at home are yam, we have our beans, we have the fruit we take, which gives us energy and it helps us to be able to walk. Other uses of resources from plants are the furnitures we make use of in our house, the table, the chair, even the ones in our classroom. They are uses of resources from plants. Another uses of resources from plants is cotton. We get cotton from plants, and this is being processed to make the clothes we are wearing. I'm sure we've learned something today from resources of plants. I would like to ask questions. I'm sure my students should be able to list. Can any of my students list the resources from plants for me? I'm sure from what you've learned, you'll be able to list this. Example, you have your rice, which I'm holding, you have your beans, and the uses of the resources from plants. The clothes we are putting on is gotten from cotton, and we're able to cover our nakedness.
Good day, viewers. My name is Karim Sahid Adeniji, housemate number 6. I work with Untitled Model College, Agumbelewo, Osogbo, civic and social studies teacher. If you recollect, we discussed family yesterday, and I told you family is a group of people who are bound by blood. Be that as may be, today we are going to look at another topic entirely. And before I reveal that topic, how many of you have ever attended a wedding ceremony probably before now? And that leads us to the same topic. And before then, you could see, what does it symbolize? It symbolizes a would-be couple and a pastor trying to what? Join them together. So today we are looking at marriage. What is marriage? Marriage is a union between a man and a woman to become husband and wife. Having said this, we have three types of marriage. We have a civil marriage, and we have religious marriage, then we have personal marriage. Civil marriage, those are the marriage that the would-be couple goes to the registry and then make their intention known, and then they have been issued certificate of marriage. While the religious marriage are into two. We have the Islamic wedding and then the Christian wedding. You know, like this one I show you. This is a pure Christian marriage, whereby the pastor officiating the wedding, and the other one, which is Islamic wedding, the imam will be the one officiating the wedding ceremony. Then you have the third one, which is traditional marriage. These are the marriage that the couples we have to go and meet the family, the local chief, the obas, and then go with their all the traditional rites, the yams, the palm oil and lights, and then the chief joins them together. Having said this, like I said earlier, I told you about the meaning of marriage. And I told you that marriage is a union between a man and a woman to become husband and wife. All right, thank you. Before you go, I'll give you home fun. Home fun. Home fun means assignment. So I want to give you so that you can work parallel to what we have next week. So define crime. Define crime. And then you also discuss types of, what are the reasons people commit crime in our society. Till when next we meet, be safe. Thank you.
The Chartered Institute of Educational Practitioners UK, CEPUC, hereby presents International Investiture Awards and Conference on Education Administration 2021. Theme: Innovative Teaching Strategies. Special highlights will include CEPUC Talent Hunt, Film Academy, and premiere of short film, Eniola, A Perfect Girl-Child Story. Also, postgraduate diploma in education and tuition scholarship. Featuring as well, unveiling of the following projects: Intellectual Contest Web App, iContest Web App, International Journal of Education, Innovation and Practice, IJEIP, CEPUC Instructional Materials, Miss CEPUC, Brains and Beauty, PGDE Tuition Scholarship Program, Award and Recognition Gala, Academic Workshop, Poetry, Stage Play, amongst the host of others. Date: 26th August 2021. Venue: Merit House, Maitama, Abuja, FCT. Time: 10 a.m. prompt. There will also be a diplomatic dinner and variety night featuring Mr. and Miss CEPUC 2021 at Bolinga Hotel, Central Business District, Abuja. Time: 6 p.m. prompt. CEPUC 2021. Be there, get involved, promote education and support talents.
Good day, viewers. My name is Rachel Banta and I'm housemate number 7. I'll be teaching you community service today. All right, so imagine I take you to a public toilet and I ask you to use this broom and some toilet cleaners to wash it without getting paid. How would you feel? I can imagine the looks on your faces. Probably some of you are frowning. That is exactly what community service is about. Community service can be defined as a situation whereby individuals come together to work for their community without having to get paid. And these activities are known as voluntary services. Voluntary. When we say voluntary, we mean you're doing it without being forced. No one is pushing you, no one is forcing you, and at the same time, no one is paying you. You're doing it because you have observed your community and you have seen that there is a need that you can solve. So what do you do when there's a need? You have to mobilize people, and there are some you can do on your own. For instance, you can use this broom to sweep gutters, clean the back of a hostel, or clean a kitchen that is messed up without having to wait for anyone to pay you. That is your form of giving back to the community because you want it to develop. Now, there are various ways we can engage in community service. One, you can put up public toilets in areas where there are no toilets at all. Instead of people to use the bush, what we call bush attack. Instead of bush attack, there's a public toilet there that they can use. And you'll be proud if the place is clean whenever you're passing by because you put a public toilet there. If people who are coming to your community always get missing because there's no signboard anywhere, you can just get a cardboard or something that rain cannot ruin. Write the name of your community there. Set it up so that people will know where they are going and they will not get missing. And at the same time, there are people who are in need, the orphans, the widows, the sick people who cannot pay hospital bills. Mobilize people, gather resources, share these resources, and then make life better for them. Make life more interesting for them. Make them see reasons to live, because it's issues like this that push people to commit suicide. So if you know that you have observed your community and there are things that you could do to better your community, to develop your community, please go ahead and do it. Do not wait for anyone to pay you. Do not wait for government to do it for you. Do it on your own. You can do it. It's not too hard. And no one is saying you should build a rocket ship. No. There are little things you can do in your community to contribute to its development and to its growth. With that said, I leave you with an assignment. Look around you. What can you do to make a change? Thank you so much.
Good day, everyone. My name is Stanley from contestant number 8. I'll be teaching you basic science and technology. As you can see, I'm moving from one point to another. I'm walking around. What gives me the ability to do this continuously? That's the topic for discussion today, and it is titled Energy. What is energy? Energy is the ability to do work. For you to carry out your day-to-day transactions, you need energy. For you to play football effectively, for example, you need energy. We have different forms of energy. Number one, we have solar energy. Number two, we have kinetic energy. We have electrical energy. We have chemical energy. We have mechanical energy, etc. Now, let's start with solar energy. Solar energy can be derived from sunlight, and it's also a source of electricity when powering our solar cells. Now, we move to kinetic energy. This energy is required when you are moving around. It has to do with locomotion and moving from one point to another. Now we have electrical energy. Electrical energy is the flow of electric current through cables and conductors effectively. For example, I have a cable here, and you see this, looking at this cable, electric energy flows through this cable to your appliances. Now we have chemical energy. As you can see, I have here rice, orange, water, and we also have other food stuff that you can consume to give you energy. That gives you chemical energy. The food we eat gives us chemical energy in order to carry out our day-to-day activities. Also, when you are moving your vehicles, your vehicle requires fuel so that you can move it from one point to another. Now we have mechanical energy. Now mechanical energy can be seen when we are working with some mechanical parts like rollers and bearings. Okay, for example, when you are making use of your generator set and you're working with machines, you see some rollers, some mechanical parts to enable friction and compatibility of parts. That gives us mechanical energy. And not only that, I want us to know that energy can be conserved from one form to another. For example, when you switch on your gen, it moves from mechanical energy to sound energy, electrical energy, and light energy. Also, I want us to know that energy can be applied from one form to another Also, I want us to know that energy is the ability to do work. I have some assignments for you. Number one, what is energy? Number two, list different forms of energy and carry out this project activity by riding a bicycle around, increase the different speed, and you record the observation. Therefore, energy is the ability to do work. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the day.
Hello viewers, I am Anidobe Oziomamavis, contestant number 10. Today, I'll be taking you on a topic you're yet to discover. Please observe. Ow, I'm so hungry. I could finish a mountain of food. I'm so thirsty. I can drink a river. The sun outside is so hot. It could burn off your skin. Can I have your bag, please? Ow! This bag weighs a ton. Now, viewers, I have said I'm so hungry and I can finish a mountain of food. But if you give me a food like a mountain, can I finish it? Obviously, no. And I had also mentioned that outside the sun is so hot that it could burn off your skin. But I'm coming from outside. But is my skin burnt? Obviously, no. And I had said that this bag weighs a ton. If it weighs a ton, I can't lift it with one hand. Now, viewers, this brings us to the topic we'll be doing today, which is hyperbole. Can you repeat after me? Hyperbole. Now, take note of the pronunciation. Not hyperbole, but hyperbole. Now, I get this question. People keep saying, why is it that in literature, people just don't say what they mean? Why do you read poetry and you just don't get the idea immediately? That's because in poetry, in literature, we use creativity to express ourselves. We don't say things the way they are, but say it in a way that makes you think even extra to get the meaning. Hyperbole simply means an exaggeration of ideas, an exaggeration of feelings, just to lay emphasis on what you're talking about, to show the degree of what you're talking about. So, can you say after me again? Hyperbole. Now, let's practice. You've seen my own examples, so I want you to pick a partner out there and practice with the person. Now, just have expressions. I'm going to do mine from here. I'm going to call home because I miss my mother and I'm going to tell her how I feel. Hello, mommy. Oh, I miss you so much. I can walk 1,000 miles to get to where you are right now. Hello, viewers. Can I walk 1,000 miles to meet my mother? No. But I'm trying to express how much I miss her. And I'm just trying to say I could go 1,000 miles to see her. Now, viewers, can we repeat hyperbole? I want you to generate like 5 sentences using hyperbole. Can you do that? Now, you know what hyperbole means. You know how it's applied in speech. You know how it's applied in literature. I could say something like, I can get you 1,000 roses. Obviously, I can't get you 1,000 roses. However, I'm just expressing how much the extent I can go for you. So, repeat after me again. Hyperbole. Thank you. Again, hyperbole. Very good. If I am hungry and I say I can finish a mountain of food, I'm telling you how hungry I am. The effect is not the same with some other person. Now, I want you to take home an assignment. Please first define hyperbole. From what I've explained, I want your own definition. And secondly, give me 5 examples of hyperbole. Thank you very much.
Hello, pupils. Today, we're going to be learning a song, and it goes thus. I love my mommy. I love my daddy. I love them so dearly. Mommy cares for me. Daddy provides for me. I love them so dearly. And that song will be leading us to what we're going to be learning today. So today on Social Studies, we'll be learning about the family. The family is a group of people related by blood, marriage, and it could be by adoption. Adoption in the sense that mommy was not the one that gave birth to that particular child. Mommy can go to the orphanage and get that child and decide to train the child, and the child becomes part of the family. So a family is a group of people that stays together. They are related by blood, marriage, and adoption. We have two types of family. We have two types of family. One, we have the nuclear family. Two, we have the extended family. The nuclear family consists of father, mother, and children. You can see daddy here. I made a diagram for you. You have father. You can see mommy having a flower on her head. You can see daddy. This is daddy. And these are the children. You can see a boy and a girl. That's for nuclear family. Then the extended family, I made a family tree. The family tree, the root of it, you have the grandparents. From the grandparents, that's where all the other members of the families, they came from. And I believe before we go today, you should be able to tell me the meaning of family, tell me the two basic types of family, and also give me examples of members of an extended family. And last but not the least, ensure you draw a beautiful family tree, something like this. Thank you.
Hello, viewers. I believe you must be wondering why we have an onion here. But then, let me introduce myself. My name is Oluchi Chukwuma OJ, and I'll be teaching you a topic in comments. Now, you must be wondering, why do we have an onion here? To purchase this onion, you will need this. You will need money. And that brings us to our topic today, money. Okay, now, what is money? Money is what is the generally acceptable means of payment or for exchange of goods and services. Now, you might want to say, what are the functions of money? Because of our time, we'll be very fast. What are the functions of money? How does money function? Now, I'll be explaining two ways money functions. Money functions as a measure of value. Now, by the time I get to the market, I said a measure of value. Measure of value. You. Now, you can imagine going to the market to buy a bowl of onion and you have 500 naira. You can't possibly exchange an onion for 500 naira. You will need to do what? To get a balance for this. So it measures the value of this one onion and then you get your balance for that. Which means money functions as a measure of value. Equally, money functions as a standard for deferred payment. If you need to get an art or a goods and pay at a later date, it is only money that guarantees that goods being handed over to you. Now, let's equally look at if I'm to recap, what then is money? Like I said earlier, is a measure of what is an acceptable means of payment. Is an acceptable means of payment for goods and services. Okay, I want you to just put down. There are different denominations of currencies. I want you to take just an assignment, put them down, and get the currencies, different Nigerian currencies, make a chart of those currencies, and maybe in our next class, we'll look into the details of the types of money we have in the Nigerian currency. Thank you.
Class, what are the four cardinal points? I know the east, west, north, and the south. Okay, when I was quite tender, I was traveling from Asaba to Lagos with my parents. That time I was in JS2. So I was like, how do the pilots locate their destinations? And I later asked my teacher, and she told me they make use of the compass bearing. And that leads us to the topic we have today. Bearing. Bearing is a way of defining direction as an angle measured clockwise from the North Pole. But I want to tell you, before the end of this lesson, you are going to have at your fingertips this bearing definition and also two ways of indicating bearing together with conversion from both 3 digits and the compass bearings. All right, now what are the two ways of indicating bearing? Having noted of the definition of bearing, we have the compass bearing and we have the 3 digits bearing. And the compass bearing takes measurements either from the North Pole or the South Pole. If you have been wondering what is this compass bearing, I have one in my hand here. You can see that this is compass bearing. Do you copy? When I say do you copy, you tell me, copy that. All right, so 3 digits bearing 060 degrees, you have to be in 3 digits, 120 degrees. I want to convert this to compass bearing now. And we have here the 4 cardinal points, or you call it Cartesian plane. 060 degrees. Each of these is measured in 90. So 90 degrees is at each of these quadrants. So I'm having here to be 90, and here is 060. From here is that 60. So because I'm taking from the North Pole, it becomes, therefore, 60 degrees east of north. And that's the answer. So let us move to 120. Under 120, you know that here is already 90 degrees. Now you ask yourself, what am I going to add to this 90? So this is going to give me 120, and it's 30. So here becomes 30, and here is 90. Now, you take measurement from either the North Pole or the South Pole. Therefore, I'm going to take the measurement from the South Pole. Therefore, if I subtract 30 from 90, I'm going to have 60 degrees. Therefore, it's going to give me, and here is southeast, sorry. I have here to be northeast, here is northwest, here is southwest. So it's now going to be 60 degrees east of south. That's the answer. Now let us convert from compass to 3 digits. And that's east, west. North, west. All right, 060 degrees. I have 60 degrees east of north. To convert it to 3 digits, here becomes the 60. You can see that? So it's now going to be 060 degrees as my answer. So I want you to solve now. Convert for me 50 degrees east of north to 3 digits bearing. Can I get that? All right, you are correct. Now take your assignment. I want to summarize now. We treated bearing as a way of defining direction as the angle measured from North Pole measured from North Pole in a clockwise direction. So, and we do the conversions, various conversions involved. In our next topic, I'm going to introduce you to solutions to problem involving bearing. Then don't forget, become a Math 5 today. Math 5 means mathematics lovers because it's youth's o'clock.
Adway International School is set to be the leading school focused on equipping students with outstanding global leadership skills. From our spacious and serene campus to our top-notch facilities come highly skilled and experienced staff members. Every component of AIS is designed to essentially provide our students with uniquely engaging education that equips them to thrive in today's globalized and dynamic world. We are certain that going with AIS, you have rightly stepped into a pathway to excellence.
Good day, viewers. My name is Obidima Jennifer Chine, and today you're welcome to my Diction in English class. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, the sounds of the TH. Also, we're going to look at words that have the ASK word ending. Please keep up with me. Now, when you talk about the TH, you see that it has two different sounds. Now, this is th, and in order to articulate this sound properly, you have to have your teeth in between your upper and lower teeth, and we're going to practicalize that right now. Now, have your hand on your throat and have the back of your palm over your mouth, and let's go. While pronouncing this sound, you find that you have air falling at the back of your palm and there was no vibration, meaning that this sound does not have any, it is voiceless. That's what it means. So what are some of the words that have this sound? You have thing. Thing. This is an example of a word that has the sound. And moving over to this, it is almost like this, but there's a slight difference. Now the difference is that when you place your hand here and try to articulate the sound, you feel a vibration in your vocal cords. Now let's go. It feels like a phone is vibrating. That's what you know. And then what are some words that have this sound? You have a word like, a very simple word like these. These, right? Now, that's it about these two sounds. And now let's go over to our evaluation. Now for your evaluation, I'm going to pronounce these words and you get to pronounce them after me. And so you have for the TH as th, which is this one, you have bath, bath. And then you have cloth, cloth. Over here, TH as v, you have bathe, clothe. And now, that's it. You take your own pronunciation. There, I know you got it. Bravo and well done. Now, that's it for this. And then moving over, we have for words that have ASK word ending. And then you have words like this. Now, for words with ASK word ending, you have the A sounding as R, not A, as many people would say. But meanwhile, you have to know the difference. R would be the British, and then A would be the American. But because we're in Nigeria and we practice the British curriculum, we have to go with the R sound. And so it is ask and not ax. It is mask for your face and not it is mask and not max. It is task, task, and not tax. When you say tax, you mean this. These are two different things. They are not the same thing. And then it is flask, flask for water or food and not flax. When you say flax, it's a seed that you eat to reduce weight. And then you have bask. When you bask, you're just more like enjoying something. Bask in the glory of God and not backs. All right, so thank you very much, and I hope you learned something insightful today. See you same time next week in my diction class.
Hello, learners. Good to have you again. It's your favorite English teacher, Ebumene Bosita Victoria, and today we'll be continuing our lesson on verbs. So our topic today is verbs, but we have a subtopic, verb tenses. Now, in English language, we have 12 different kinds of verb tenses, 12 of them. But today we'll be dealing on just three, the three major verb tenses. We have the present tense, or you could call it the simple present tense. We have the past tense, and we have the future tense. Now, what are verb tenses? Verb tenses refers or is based on the time that a particular action takes place. Now, different actions take place, but the time determines if it's a verb tense or not. So we have the present, the past, and the future. So when an action takes place in the present, for example, I'm talking now. I am talking to you. It's what? A present tense. Now, if it's a past tense, I would say I spoke to you yesterday, or I talked with you yesterday. It has what? An ED. So it's what? A past tense. Then when we say future tense, future means that the occurrence is going to take place in the future. So I could say, I will talk to you tomorrow. That's what? A future tense. Then we have, for example, we have tenses like you say eat, ate, then will eat. Now this is the present, or eating. This is the present tense. I'm eating semo. Now, ate is what? The past tense. I ate semo yesterday. Then will eat is the future. I will eat semo tomorrow. Do we understand? Okay, so that will be that for that. Then when we go on to also have what we call present continuous tense. Now, eating, it has the ing. When it's continuous, it always comes with an ing. ing. So for eating,
ing. That's the present continuous tense. Then we have the past continuous tense. You could say, I was talking when she came in. I was talking when she came in. That's a verb. Now, the talk is the root word, verb, the root verb. Now, the ing makes it what? Continuous. That means it's in the past, but it's what? A continuous tense. Now, we have the future continuous. Now, remember we've talked about the present, the past, and the future tense, the simple present, simple past, and simple future. Then now we're talking on the present continuous, the past continuous, and the future continuous. So, I was eating, or I am eating right now, that's the present continuous. I was talking when she came in, that's the past continuous. Then I will be talking when he leaves. That's what the future continuous. So I'll give you a task. For example, we have a sentence saying, I dash going to school when we met. I dash going to school when we met. I was going to school when we met. That's what? The past tense. Okay, so that will be all for today. I'll see you some other time. If you have your questions, please put them up in the comment section and I'll attend to it when I come back. Thank you.
Good day, viewers. My name is Emerewe Godwin Ejirogene, aka G-Man. It's another beautiful day for that very simple subject, mathematics. You could remember that in the last class, we actually talked about types of polygons, where I told you that the simplest type of polygon is the triangle. Today, we'll discuss about the triangle. Okay, I would start by defining the triangle. What's a triangle? A triangle is a polygon bounded by 3 straight lines. All right, since that's the definition of a triangle, when we say 3 straight lines, we have 1, 2, and 3. Please do not forget why it is called a triangle. Tri means 3, and it has 3 angles. With me here, I have a model of a triangle, and this is it. This is how a triangle looks like. Now we have different types of triangles. We have the right angle triangle, we have isosceles triangle, we have the scaling triangle, and we have equilateral triangle. We'll be looking at all these types of triangles. With me here, I have them. This is a right angle triangle. It's a type of triangle which has one of its angles equal to 90 degrees. I have the isosceles triangle. It's a triangle which has 2 equal sides and 2 equal base angles. Base means the bottom. Also here, I have the scaling triangle, which is a triangle that has no equal side, neither does it have any equal angle. Then here we have the equilateral triangle. This one looks like triplets, where all the 3 sides are equal, and as well the 3 angles are equal. Now, when we talk about the types of triangle, it would form something that we call rise for your own consumption so that you do not forget it easily. We have the first one, right angled triangle. The next, isosceles triangle. We have scaling triangle. And the fourth one, we have the equilateral triangle. Okay. With this, we have been able to list all the types of triangles. And from the beginning, we defined a triangle as a polygon with bounded by three straight lines. Before I leave, I would want you to quickly perform this task for me. All right, I would like to get the feedback in the next class. And in the next class, we'll continue by talking about the properties of all these triangles. I hope you won't forget. Rise. Bye.
Good day, viewers. My name is Faremi Mary Oluwabukola, a basic science teacher. I'll be teaching you a new topic today, skill acquisition. Remember last week, I showed you a picture of this dress. And we mentioned some skill that can make the dress last week. So today, we are going to be discussing more on skill acquisition. In Nigeria today, it's very important for everyone to have a skill, to earn more money for yourselves and for your family, and to be a better person in a society. Now, what is a skill? A skill can be defined as an idea to do something. What is an acquisition? An acquisition is a process of gaining or to train on something. And what is skill acquisition? Skill acquisition can be defined as a process whereby an individual trained to have a skill. That can be a vocational training or educational training. Now, we have some of the examples of this skill. One, we have carpentry. Two, hairdressing. Three, we have tailoring. Four, we have makeup artist. Five, we have actors, that is acting. Some of the tools being used by carpenters are nail, hammer, and they make use of wood. Some of the tools being used by the hairdresser, they make use of all these combs to make ribbons or to weave your head. Some of the tools being used by tailor, like myself, I'm a teacher and I'm a tailor. I made this special clothes for myself. You can see it's being embroidered and it's beautiful just to make a living for myself. Now, some of the tools used by the makeup artists, they make use of all these to beautify especially most of our women. And some of the tools used by acting, I told you it could be educational or vocational. So in acting, they make use of costumes and they make use of script. Now, what are the reasons or importance why we have to acquire a skill? The first one is to make life better and to earn a living. Now, let me ask you a question. What is a skill? What is an acquisition? A skill acquisition. And can you give me a sample of skill? And can you tell me the importance of how you want to have a skill? You can write this assignment. List 5 tools you know in carpentry. Thank you for listening. Till next time.
My principal once told me, a mediocre teacher tells, a good teacher explains, a superior teacher demonstrates, and a great teacher inspires. I'm sure you have seen all of this from the housemates with what they have done. The housemates are doing their best to put their best foot forward. What are you doing to keep your favorite teacher in the house? Vote today. Go to our website www.teachersnaija.com to vote for your favorite teacher. And of course, you can use the USSD code scrolling down your screen. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Don't only follow us, like, and make a comment. We'll be there to give you feedback. All right then, until we see you again, I say to you, Shalom.
Behind the scene, they work very hard to do what we do, to stay motivated. This is the Teachers Reality Show. This is the Teachers Reality Show.
The Teachers NAIJA Reality Show.
Here's how to vote for your favorite housemate. For a single vote, use star your bank USSD code, *000, start the contestant's code, and then hash. Or go to our website www.teachersnaija.com. For multiple votes, use your bank USSD code, *000, start the contestant's code, start the number of times you want to vote, and then hash.
Yeah. Everyone has been taught by a teacher. They all grow to become strong leaders. Behind the scene, they work very hard to do what we do, to stay motivated. This is the Teachers Reality Show. This is the Teachers Reality Show.